So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what we did was like core. So we wrote Konami Code. I'm gonna keep going back to Konami Code because I feel like that's kind of where this all started. We wrote Konami Code. That album came out, changed our lives in some ways. But after we had finished it, I was like, we got to write a second record. We
Mm-hmm.
got to do this. And so
Yeah.
we like toured off that. We dropped that record in 2019. We like toured off that record. A pandemic happened. Cora and I got like locked away into our houses, and we started like kind of we had time and started writing songs. Like Cora had written Hallie in 2019, but Cora in the pandemic wrote an EP that never saw the light of day because the songs ended up on this record. Most of them, I think three of the five that she wrote ended up on this record, and two of them ended up on the trilogy we did a while ago. But so while Cora was writing those songs, Cora is the type of person who can write a song in what feels like 30 minutes. And I'm the type of person that takes like 3 years to write a song. There's only two songs on this record because those were the two I felt were that I had sang and written solely alone that I had felt were like our my strongest songs to bring towards what Cora had. And so we Cora wrote those songs for the EP. I had brought my songs to band practice and we started like working together on those as a band, and like there were a few other ones that the ideas because I usually bring shells to our practices and Cora brings fully written songs, and so there were a few shells that never like got fully formed or felt like they could go on the record. But Dwight and Kevin Pickles were songs that like really stood out to us as like what we would call bangers or heaters in band practice. And then Cora will write songs and then deem them not worthy, but they'll be in our Google Drive and I'll stumble across them. Like Made for Love was a song that she didn't want to be an Arcadia Grey song, but I found it in our Google Drive on accident. I was just like, "What's this?" I clicked on it, and my life was changed. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I texted her, and I was like, "Hey, what's this song?" And she was like, "Oh, you weren't supposed to see that." And I'm like, "This has to go on the record." Like, so,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I mean, I kind of already have something like that with there are some other demos that Cora has worked on, some stuff specifically for the next album, and the first one that she showed me for the next record, I listened to it and I'm like, is this for the next record? And she's like, I don't know yet. And I'm like, because I really want to play this as an
Yeah.
Arcadia Grey song.
Mhm.
I want this to be in the Arcadia Grey lore. So I think that kind of happens a lot. Like Cora just has so much stuff under her belt that that we just kind of either stumble upon or she shows us and she's not sure about what its purpose is. But um yeah, a
that's
lot of it for with Cora, I get demos, and with Nat kind of shows up, and sometimes I'll get like voice audio texts of parts of the song, and then I'll start working on what kind of beat I want to put to it. Um, we did some writing in the studio as well.
yeah,
Yeah, we
like
did.
Dwight 512 was a song that like like a year ago on April Fool's we dropped a song called Get Pranked,
Mhm.
which was a section of a song of Dwight that we ended up cutting because so Dwight was like the first verse in the chorus, and then that section, and then like the end chorus that we do, this section and Get Pranked. And when we were in the studio, we did a click like a I forget the term, but we like played through it so that we could like record over it,
Mhm.
and we just couldn't figure out what lyrics were gonna go over that section. So I like ad libbed some stuff, and that's how Get Pranked like came out was just me screaming "fuck" into the microphone.
Yeah.
We listened to that back and went, we should cut this section out. So we ended up like writing a little bit in the studio and like reworking Dwight into like what it is now. And we're really stoked on it. And we also like a week before we went into the studio, posted up at one of our parents' houses in Indiana for a few days and just like fleshed everything out. So the process is kind of long for us. Like it starts with an idea and then we slowly work that into our practicing and like learning it together while we're doing our other things in life and tour. And then we'll book time and then try to figure out everything as we go into the studio.
Hmm.
It feels like like cramming for a test when we're writing a record. I feel in our two experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since there's such a long gap of time from when the writing process starts until the record came out, at least in this instance, do you guys still find yourself resonating with the tracks that are on this record? I mean, some of them were cut right around the time that Konami Code came out. That's a long fucking time ago. So like, do you guys find yourselves still resonating with what's being said on here?
If you ask Cora, she'll say no. She's like, she's written 3 records between now and then, and
Yeah.
I both feel the same way. Like, I love what we wrote, but I've listened to it probably 1,000 more times than anyone has. And so like a year ago, I would have said, yes, I'm super stoked. But now I'm ready to, like, I think my love for the songs in the album will be like reignited once we start like playing it live and like seeing people's like reactions. But as of right now, I enjoy that it's out, but I do resonate in some way. But we definitely changed. I've personally grown from a ways away from these songs.
Fair enough. Cooper?
Yeah, I would say like I still think a lot of it is super tight. I didn't write any of the lyrics really. I did some for Dwight because that song is about dropping out of college, and Nat did not drop out of college. I did. So I was in the writer's room for the lyrics on that one.
Well,
I'm also pretty far removed from that period of my life, of leaving college and having my own path. For like my part of playing the drums and the percussive side of the music, I think a lot of it does still resonate with me, but I've grown quite a bit since recording that as well. And we've played the songs a lot live to a point where it happened with Konami Code 2. Like our music as a live performance is always evolving and growing and changing. So I'm doing like new things that I still find to be better than how I recorded it. But I still think, I go back and I listen to the songs and I enjoy listening to them as their recorded version as well. I think there's still a level of it that resonates with me for sure.
That's good. Hell yeah.
Good.